Hey, what's up? I'm at Starbucks chilling out. You know, had a little thing I had to go through. You know, coming here, man, riding my bike. Bike been vandalized a couple of times here too, man. So, just chilling, man. Just trying not to cause no trouble, but the history of Detroit is explanatory itself, man. Full of criminals, and no doubt about it, all the mayors been criminals, man. For real. Except for Duggan, but I won't vote for him because nothing's working in the city, for real. You know, you have to get rid of the, police chief is not doing his job, period. I know for a fact in my neighborhood, try to do things discreetly, can't do things discreetly. You have to go and do things, publicly, man. Like I'm doing YouTube, doing other things, man. About the gutter trash in my neighborhood, white trash, hillbilly trash. It's everything, for real. The neighborhood is everything. Like I said, if you feel comfortable in a low-income neighborhood, if you feel comfortable, move into it for the income. But if you don't, and it's white trash, don't do it, man. I'm never gonna do that again. Bypass it and keep looking. Should have went to Lasher and 8 Mile. Better place and more comfortable for me. Not that white trash, hillbilly trash. Well, man, hell no. I mean, like everybody know, man. If you've been to other cities, you know that GM is not the car for you, period. Everybody else, if you go to other different cities, the majority of the cars you see is either Ford, and that's it. Maybe a Chrysler every now and then, but that's all you see. Or Ford. You don't see, GM cars. It was pre-written that GM was gonna, Chapter 9 bankruptcy. Everybody knows that around the country. You don't see those cars that much in other cities, especially in major cities. Detroit is not a major city, period, in the Midwest. Chicago is. If you want to see what's going on, go to Chicago. So, you can tell by the, the football recruits, man. You don't see that in Mayor Young. When Mayor Young was, Mayor Young and, I'll say Archer too, you would see top recruits in Detroit. You don't see that, man, period. All the top recruits is going to the western end of the state because of a good reason. Chicago people is moving into like Benton Harbor, Muskegon, and Grand Rapids or Lansing. That's where all the talent is, or Kalamazoo too. They moving, the Chicago people is moving there to get away from the violence, man. That Chirac stuff. Nobody don't want to be around that Chirac, South Side violence stuff. Gunshots and everything. You don't want to be around that, man. Who want to be around that? So that's why they moving to Michigan, not Detroit. Nowhere in the world they're going to move to Detroit with all that stuff going on in Detroit. Period. So, unstable, whatever. So, and the water, bad, like Mayor Young did. It's back into the Kavanaugh years. Detroit is in the Kavanaugh years. Back in the Kavanaugh years. The 50s, man. With the mafia, with the stress police, with the, Hamtramck, Klan stuff. It's back there. It's back in the time because, never going to brag about my people or mother or father or, relatives or whatever. They was up here from the South in the late 50s, just scouting the place out because of the automotive industry. They said about the stress police, people of color get robbed, for real. The police flat out perjured themselves in the court. That's what Mayor Young did something about recorded court, did something about the Detroit police. Soon as he became mayor, he did something automatically to the Detroit police. Then he did something with recorded court. Then he did something with the neighborhood to get away from Hamtramck stuff. Everything was centralized. Everything was in the neighborhood. If you call the department, they know they can help you, flat out. They're not going to send you to department to a different department. They know what they handle the business. If you come here, it's the department. You know what's going on. Under black bottom gutter trash. What Mayor Young went to Lansing to testify about, and hosers. I'm just using it's not the correct English for the hosers, but it's the same terminology. Goons, union goons. That's all what it is. It's just goons. And just saying, it's the same trash as usual. Kwame Kilpatrick is the stupidest criminal, with other criminals that not even put it this way. The Wayne County executive, he's a criminal. They don't say nothing about him, but he a flat-out criminal. But anyway, Kwame is the stupidest criminal in America. Anybody risk a law degree, you got an oath. You take up to become an attorney, not to perjure yourself. This guy perjured himself right out the gate, lost a job in Texas because he didn't have a law degree. That's all that was. And he couldn't pay them, the city back $1 million. Who's going to say, I'm going to pay a city back $1 million just to get out of jail time, serious jail time? So that's what's wrong with Detroit. I don't want to live here, period. With this trash, hell no. So, it's what the federal government had that $20 about, Harriet Tubman and Pocahontas. Both of them got very bad, reputation, especially Harriet Tubman about Detroit. I read some books about Harriet Tubman and about the Indians in Windsor, about the French. I think it's the French, man. No way in the world they could come to Windsor. The Underground Railroad would come to Windsor. It couldn't come to Detroit. This is center of town. If you look at pictures of, the city of Detroit back in the 1800s, man, the river, I'm just going to put my terminology. If you're from the south, the river is up the road. That's all I have to say. The river is up the road. And this is center of town. Tell me if you from the south, you know what I'm talking about. If you was a slave back then, you don't want to go to the center of town, man, by yourself with, somebody is not your, guardian, period. So, it's a lot of stuff that, what Harriet Tubman, they don't want to say about Harriet Tubman. So that's why she didn't get the, $20 bill. It's some things she did that wasn't right. So let's try. To me, it was me. What about Washington Carver for the 20? Washington Carver, the peanut, made a lot of inventions. What about Charles Drew? Like Charles Drew, good story, man. I mean, he made plasma and couldn't get, a plasma transplant at a white hospital and died. What about Charles Drew as, for the 20? I'm propositioning that. Peace. Just saying, this 8 minutes. Peace.